Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome back to the Connected and Committed podcast. It has been a minute.
Yeah, it's been, a month and a half, something like that?
A lot has happened, but we hope that you guys have had a good summer. Even if you live in Texas, summer is at least 4 more months, but
4 more months.
It's at least. But I hope that because summer, I feel like is for me, it's the time for me to kind of listen to. I'm listening to the Hunger Games right now. I'm trying to be more outside. It's just that vibe. It's a little bit more slow. So I hope everyone had a good time, traveled, whatever it looks like for you. We are excited to get back into the podcast. I actually have missed it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what we're going to talk about this new season. But we are starting a new. I mean, we're not starting a new series. We're just picking up an older series that we were doing, which is called Imperfect Love Stories. We have couples, and we want to have more couples, actually.
Yes.
So, I could just say that if people, if you're listening to this podcast and you are a couple who has had a hard time dating, I guess, or you've had challenges, but now you are happily married, please, if you want to be on our podcast, please reach out to us. We'll put an email in the description of the episode, and you can just contact us, reach out, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I love hearing stories, and I think this one is special to us specifically because this was someone who was in our these people we know, but also there's someone who was in our group coaching program. One of the beginning times, actually, probably one of our so many successful things came from that group, and so
that was the most successful group.
Yeah,
for sure.
We love that, and so we are super honored to have very special guests on our podcast. We have Pedro and Aliah.
Hello.
I'm saying your name correctly, right? Is it Pedro?
Yes, you actually are saying it more correctly than probably most people I interact with. Yeah. I stopped correcting people usually. I think I was in 4th grade and I was like, "Hi, I'm Pedro," and the person was like, "Oh, nice to meet you, Pedro." I was like, "No, Pedro." And they were like, "That's what I said," and I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna."
When I try to teach people my name,
forget it.
No, it's Mathieu.
I know.
Mathieu. No,
even
Mathieu. That's what I said.
Gesundheit.
Or people say Mateo. I'm like, how'd you get that?
That's Spanish, bro.
Yeah, for real. I'm like, whatever. Names.
I gave up. Sometimes I introduce myself, just say Matthew.
Or Matt.
No, then you definitely get it. You just stop trying. You're like, you know what? Call me what you want. I've learned to respond to it at this point.
I bet people mess up Joy all the time.
Yeah, all the time, really.
My family.
Honestly, though, people call me Joyce.
They're like, "Hey,
how?" I'm like, you added a whole different name. Joyce is not my name.
Yeah, Joyce.
I'm not a 45-year-old woman. Please stop. I do not like that. Don't call me Joyce. If anyone ever does that, I'm kidding. But please.
If you do that and you want to be on the podcast, you won't be on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. But we, again, thank you so much for agreeing to be on this podcast. I know some people, and it's no shame at all, but it's not easy to share your story. Some people feel really uncomfortable about that. And obviously you guys are living out a whole different story. You guys are obviously married, and we'll talk about that. But it's
almost
not
1 year.
Yeah, almost 1 year, which congratulations to that. But we know it's not always easy. So we really appreciate you agreeing and being willing to share your story. And we're pumped to get into it, which we'll just get into it now, obviously. So maybe to start we kind of just gave it away. How long have you been married? And then we can, or after you say that, we want to talk about just how long have you guys known each other, and tell us a little bit more about that start.
Well, we've been married almost a year. It'll be a year in 2 months. I don't even know. Yeah, in 2 months it'll be a year.
10 months.
Yeah, so about 10 months.
Nice.
And we were together. We've been together over 3 years, including being married.
Okay.
I was like, we dated for 2 years.
We've known each other for 4 years.
Yeah. Been together for 3, dated for 2, been married for 1.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Yeah. And you guys have obviously a specific story, or if people are talking about tropes, you guys have the best friends to lovers.
Yeah.
Yes.
My favorite.
Yes,
I love those. But tell us more about that, because obviously you guys were friends before, and like, did you know? Like, did any of you guys like have a crush on each other from the beginning, or did that come over time? Or
I totally
did.
did.
Okay.
I did from like the beginning. I remember I first saw him and I was like, oh, he's really cute. And I was like not super engaged with my community at that time, and he was at like our church's young adult group at the time, and I happened to just go that week after not going for so long.
And we bonded over acid reflux.
And we bonded over talking about acid
nice.
reflux, like because we both sing. He's a theater kid. I led worship, and so we both sing. So we're talking about like vocals, and
I was like, these are all my home remedies.
And I was like, dang, this guy's really cute. But then I just kind of like stopped engaging. This was also this wasn't COVID year. This was 2021, but still things were like a little weird and rocky, I feel like, for a lot of people at that time, including myself. So we didn't really see each other for like 6 months, almost for like 4 to 6 months. Like we met that day and hadn't talked or hung out other than maybe one Instagram interaction or something, like nothing crazy. We weren't really, I wouldn't even count us really friends at that point.
No, I met her one time and I was like newly following Jesus. So I had just like left a bunch of friends and was like looking for like young adult followers of Jesus to like be friends with and stuff. And so I was going to the young adult group and I saw her once and then she disappeared.
Yeah. And we had fun, but I was like, oh, this guy. And I wasn't even like, oh my gosh, I like this guy.
I thought she was like Mexican or something, but she's not. She's white.
But I was like, oh, this guy's cute and he's funny. And that was the end of it though. And then we had started hanging out in the new year. Like in the beginning of
the young adult group had a Bible study.
Yeah.
And I had been going to that pretty consistently for the past few months, from like that month that we met in October all the way through until we met again in February?
We met in August, and then we like January, February is when we became
February
friends.
is when she started going to the Bible study. And
and so we met. I mean, obviously we had met the year before, but then we started hanging out and became like quickly friends because he was friends with
her and our friend Chloe.
Yes. Which I don't know if we can say names, but
Chloe, that's fine.
That's totally fine. Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I was like,
do a good old little bleep there.
I was like, I don't know if you can do that, but I was like, I don't.
Gotta be shown. So
like that.
Cool. We just won't say last names or what.
Yeah.
Is the Chloe that we know that?
Yes.
Hawaii Chloe.
Missionary Chloe.
Okay, don't give information. This is like, stop talking. Anyway, she's part of our story though too, which is why I'm like even bringing that up. I was like, she is part of our story even later. So, but yeah, she and I were really good friends, and her and Pedro were really good friends, and she kind of brought us all together. And yeah, we got really, really close really fast. And me and her decided to throw a party for him for his birthday. And yeah, we all just were really close together. But that was when we like became really, really good friends, I'd say. And then me and Pedro specifically connected over youth ministry stuff. He was a youth pastor, and then I was youth admin at a different church. And so I was like, wait, I kind of like this guy. I want to hang out with him more. And then he happened to reach out to me about youth stuff. And I was like, I'll just come up to wherever you live, which was like an hour away, and help you with this stuff. And I mean, I was desperate, I feel like, at that point. But yeah, that's kind of friends part, at least. This is before the dating or anything, but
yeah. Is that where we were at? Was that the question?
Yes. We can even go into, because obviously, what was the gap between, I know you said you're friends for a while. You, Aliah, thought like he was cute. You were interested. Oh. So how long was the gap before like we're friends until we start dating or expressing interest? I think so. I remember.
When did I go to the send?
Well, okay. I was going to say, I love that you're bringing up all of these little things that no one's going to know about, like the send or.
Listen, I went on some trip.
I know what the
I'm like, I have dates. He has memories.
It's important because she told me right before I went on this trip to Kansas City, and I was like, man, my friend likes me. I am distraught. I am scared.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the time though that you asked about, I thought he was cute when I first met him, but we became friends, and I was like we became friends, right? That was like probably 4 or 5-ish months before I was like, or 4 months, yeah, probably 4-ish months before I was like, actually, I like this guy, and I actually don't want to ruin our friendship, so I'm going to tell him so that we can get it out the way. Like, I actually had no intention of even, I think in my head, I had convinced myself nothing's going to happen anyway. So I might as well like get this off my chest so that like we can get through it and stay friends, because this is also part of our story. But at that point, like right around when we became friends, I had decided I was going to be moving at the end of the summer.
Okay.
And so I knew I was going to be going to this school that was only a few hours away. It was only like 3 hours away. But around that time, this was February, we became really, really good friends. January, February. May was when I had told him I had feelings for him, and I was silly. I did it over the phone in a voice message.
I was about to say,
I did it through a voice message.
You dropped a bomb in a voice message.
Oh my gosh!
And like right after we had like
we had just seen
out,
each other before,
and then I left, and I get a text message, voice message, and I was like.
And this didn't make it any better for me, at least.
She didn't even tell me, like, wanting to know, like, if I was interested or anything. She literally was like, I like you. You need to stop hanging out with me.
No, I said, this is what I had said. Okay, calm down. I had said, hey, I think I have feelings for you, but I really want to stay your friend. And I just think we need some better boundaries. This is the classic Christian conversation of boundaries. Sure. But I was like, we were hanging out a lot, like, one-on-one, which honestly, like,
which was normal for me. Little caveat, she grew up with pretty much mainly guy friends. Her 3 best friends from high school were guy friends. I grew up with all of my close friends being girls.
Okay.
So this was normal for both of us.
Got it.
Yes. But I think like as I was hanging out with him, I was like, okay, this isn't the first time that I have like been into a friend because I'm spending so much undivided time with them. Like one-on-one like this. And he actually had liked another friend at this time.
A friend of Aliah's.
He yes. And
it's funny. We were hanging out. Okay. Like with how I told you. So we were.
Info.
What?
Don't say names or anything.
I will not. So Aliah and I were, so we went to, they had planned that whole birthday thing for me. On that birthday trip, we went to Reimers Ranch, which is a beautiful little national park in Dripping Springs, but she got sick, so she couldn't go. And so I DM'd her on Instagram. I was like, hey, I know you couldn't go, so let's go, you and me, and go on a hike. And so we spend the whole like 10 hours going on this hike, and then we're driving too much time home, together. Like out in nature, and then we drive and we get Lucy's fried chicken, and we're playing We're Not Really Strangers.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we're playing We're Not Really Strangers.
Literally, it was like a date.
And then at the very end of the night, she pulls a card that tells me to admit something, and I was like, I like your friend.
and I was like, I already knew. We both, me and my friend, we already suspected, we already knew, like, and I had kind of liked him when that little exchange had happened. And I knew I was moving. So I was like, it's a lost cause anyway. It's just like a silly little crush or something. It's fine. But then we were hanging out more and more. And that's when I was like, okay, I have feelings for this guy. And he had liked my friend though that whole time. And May, I tell him I like him, and I'm like, hey, let's just like be better about not hanging out maybe one-on-one, because I really do like value you as my friend. Like I really love you as my friend, and I want to keep your friendship, like, because you're amazing. And he had the audacity that night to call me and pray for me. And I was like, why are you praying for me?
Let's also be clear. It was not like a weird, like, patronizing.
No, it was so kind.
I was calling her because I had just had another close friend of mine. I guess this was just like, I just wasn't doing a good job being a guy friend to girls. Like, I had another friend recently that had like told me that she liked me, and then like we just like weren't hanging out anymore. And I really liked, like, she was amazing. And I didn't even tell her that I wasn't interested in her in that way. I hadn't thought about it, but I wasn't not. And so I just like called her and I was like, hey, I really don't want you to disappear, you know?
It was really kind. And we ended up like, when I say he prayed for me, it was the reason I said the audacity was because I was like, oh my gosh, now I like this guy even more. Cause he actually like really cared. Cause we had become best friends very quickly. And he was like, he cared about me enough to like be like, I don't want you to like just isolate. I don't want you to stop going like to Bible study, or I don't want. And
I was like, and we'll honor like whatever. Like, I totally will respect any boundaries that like you want to do. Like, that's totally great, because that's how you keep a friendship going. Is if they bring up a boundary, you just honor it. You know.
Yeah. And the first time we had seen each other in person after we had that call was
I didn't even hug
he
her.
was super like.
I was trying to be very like.
Yeah.
She was like, "You could give me a hug."
I was like, "It's not weird. Like, please, I don't want this to be weird." I'm like, I literally was doing this because I really care about you, and I care about me, and I care about us being friends. And yeah, so after that, though, do you want to keep going, or do you want me to keep going?
With the gap?
Yeah, there was a month.
So right after that, this friend of hers, she was so Aliah was like, "You need to just like go for it. Like, just go for it. Ask her on a date." And this friend, we had this weird like back and forth thing going on. And so I was like, you know what, let's do it. We go on a date. The date is actually like pretty awkward. Not like because of like bad things on either of our part. It just wasn't like the actual, which we'll get into this later, but the actual definition of chemistry was not there. And she at the end of it, she was like, you know, you have really good chemistry with Aliah. And I was like, you think so? And I was like, yeah. She was like, you should go for it. And I was like, okay.
And
I started thinking about it.
Start really quick. She knew that I liked him. We actually, before she even went on this date with him, she had like, because we were all very close, she had met with me, and we just kind of cried together because she was like, I feel really weird doing this. And it was really humble and very sweet of her to even like be like, are you okay with this? And I'm like, I have a crush on this guy. He's really cool. He's my best friend. I have feelings for him. I'm leaving. I'm like, I don't even want to consider this unless for some reason I knew for sure it was going to work. I'm literally about to move. If you like him, like, I want you. It wasn't this weird like love triangle
we
thing.
actually are
It was
still
like,
friends to this day.
we're still very close with her.
Like whenever we all get together, and it's not even weird at all. Because the thing is like, especially Christian dating should be the least weird if you really think about it. Like, if everyone is actually like honoring and respecting everybody, it doesn't actually have to be weird. And it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't weird like at all. So yeah, it was, and she's amazing. And so yeah, they went on their date. She had said you have more chemistry with Leah, and then what were you saying after that?
And then I just started to think about it more. Like, and like we started hanging out one-on-one again.
Well, and it was always one of those things, and I'm never like one to like say just pass the boundary or just ignore it this time. It was like the one time we did, I remember we were supposed to have another, I think my best friend was supposed to be there, and it was like this like, oh well, we're both here, let's just hang out. Sure. Like, we were at a coffee shop. We both happened to be at the coffee shop. And so we're like, let's just hang out. And then we proceeded to just keep hanging out that day.
Yeah.
And so, which that was like, you know.
But fast forward, we're at youth camp because, like we said, we met over like youth ministry and everything. And between then and then, I started to just be like, oh. Like, I was like, I actually like really like this girl.
We were spending a lot of time together because we led worship for something. And then we, like, together, we were spending a lot of time together prepping for youth camp, prepping for like all these youth events. We were doing a lot of things together outside of us being friends. Like, even just in ministry, we were just together a lot. And I feel like we got to see like sides of each other that we didn't really see as friends, you know, and I think that was fun.
Yeah. And then I was planning to tell her that I liked her at the end of the youth camp.
Or to ask me out on a date. Not that he just liked me. I know it literally sounds like we're like youth kids in love.
I know. That's like summer camp mance.
But he
like, coming up to you at the end of camp, you changed my life. And he's gonna do it again the next year.
Yeah.
But
last time I said last time I had a conversation at a youth camp about, you know, a girl and I liking each other. Something happened that's pretty unusual, but it was in California youth camp. I just want to say it because it's a pretty crazy story. It was like 1:30 a.m. in the morning. First of all, it was not youth camp; it was a young adults camp, I guess. But you know, it's kind of the same vibe.
Yeah.
It was BSSM. So, and she, like, at 1:30 a.m. we go sit outside on the bench, and she starts telling me that she likes me, and I'm like, I think I like you too. And then at some point, like, her eyes, like she has big eyes. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I look behind me, and there's like a black bear that just showed up behind us.
I thought that story was going.
Even a little bit.
What in the world?
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, oh, well. And so I had to stand up and I started moving like that. And we backed up and she ran away. And I was like, don't do that. The black bear was like 8 feet away.
And that's
really
how he knew
close.
she was not the one.
Yeah.
Borderline.
All these people are asking for signs in their relationships.
That's it.
Yeah. So that was my sign, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny.
Nothing like that. The only bear in our relationship was COVID. I got COVID at youth camp and had to go home early.
Oh
so
my
his
God.
plan
My
got
plan
ruined.
destroyed. I was literally like helping get her home and it was just like
it was like 11
panicking.
p.m. like an hour and a half drive, and I'm like, it was really a bummer too. And he knew that how much I had poured into the youth camp because I was youth admin for another church, and so I practically like helped plan it. And so it was really hard, or at least for I facilitated all of like the admin side of things for our church, which we made up one of the biggest. And
when she was sick, she asked for me.
I did. But it was really a bummer that I was leaving and I had a fever, and the youth pastor, he ended up taking me home, and I was like, he needed another person to drive my car or something like that. It was weird. We needed 2 people to go with me because I had my car there. And so I was like, can you ask for like Pedro or something? Because I knew other people. My sister was there. I knew other people there, but I was like, Pedro's my best friend and he's there. And so he ended up driving like separately the whole way down to where I'm from, which was like an hour and a half away. And I don't even see him. I didn't even say hi to him or anything. I just went up to my room and I look out my window and I literally saw my dad, him, and the youth pastor all just talking like, oh, that's a bummer. Yeah. And then the next day, so he was planning on like telling me at like a Denny's or something. It literally was like, and honestly, I'm so glad it didn't work out that way because I would not have been so down to have a bunch of youth students around.
Sure.
Was the youth camp ended, and I am not used to this, but this was a youth camp that ended at 11 a.m. And so I got all the kids home by like 12, and I still had the rest of the day. And I was talking to my little brother, and I was like, I don't know, what do I do? Bring her soup? And he was like, yeah.
Also, I had tested negative for COVID at this point. I did have it, but we didn't know.
We didn't know it was COVID.
I tested negative.
If it was, I probably would not have.
I was like, this, I feel like just maybe a preface. I'm like, we weren't just being silly or responsible for this next part of the story.
Listen,
we just knew I was sick. And
even in our friendship, she got sick all the time. So this wasn't new. I was just like, okay, she's just doing her Aliah thing. Like,
okay.
And so I call her on the phone, and on my way to like drive up there, because like what we were playing like. No. We were just talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And
because I was just bedridden.
And I was like, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just going to the store. And she was
we were on the phone for 45 minutes.
She lives in Buda.
He lives like an hour away from me.
I lived in Pflugerville.
And
if you guys don't know that, Pflugerville is like way north of Austin. Buda is way south of Austin.
So I'm like, you are taking a long time going to the store.
And I was like, oh yeah, I took a wrong exit.
Really, he was driving down to see me.
So I get to Buda and I go in to buy the stuff. I have a really sick home remedy for like being sick. It's like ginger root, cayenne.
It's like a tea. He makes his own tea.
Stuff. It's delicious and it makes you feel better. Like,
wouldn't say delicious, but it does make you feel better.
Well, it's better. It's delicious when you don't put cayenne and vinegar in it.
Yeah.
But it's more effective when you put cayenne and vinegar in it. Anyway, so I go to HEB and I don't have my wallet. I left it in Pflugerville.
Oh my god!
And this guy, I literally go up to an HEB
details that are just fun, not necessary.
And I was like, "Hey, bro, I am here because I'm seeing a friend of mine, and I want to make her tea because she's sick. Can I Venmo you to buy these for me?" And he was like, "Yeah, bro, I got you." And so he got them. I drive to her house.
What's his name?
His name was Daniel. God bless
so Daniel, thank you. This is a shout out to you. For making that happen.
It's true. Because I get there, I go in.
Well, I didn't know he was coming. He surprised me.
I did. I FaceTimed her and showed her her house. And she actually didn't even look excited at all. She was just like, she literally went,
I looked like.
And she hung up and then came and opened the door.
Guys, I had a fever like 2 days before this. And I was so like not feeling good, obviously. I'm in the grungiest clothes and I kind of like this guy. So I'm like, I look terrible. And my parents had happened to have a lot of friends over, not a lot, but like a family over for dinner that night while I was supposed to stay in my room. And so he just came over when like other people were at my parents' house. And so it just was kind of like a weird thing, but like the family was super nice. And honestly, we like the son ended up hanging out with us a lot. Like he's like this little kid ended up just like following us around. But my mom, this is just a funny part of the story that's really cute. He came over, started making the tea, and my mom and I have this, or me and all my sisters and my mom, all the girls in the family, we have a secret language in our family. And it's kind of like Pig Latin, but not. And in that secret language, she says, Aliah, your dad made me tea when he liked me. And I was like, no, Mom, it's not like that. Like, he's just my friend. It's not like that. Like, he does not like me. He just like, I'm not feeling good. And he's just like being nice and bringing me stuff. And like, he's my best friend. Like, he's just being really nice, I guess. Very much in denial. I think I knew that like he kind of liked me, but I was like, no, not gonna happen. Like, that's just not gonna happen. That would never will. It never could. How could it? You know? And so we end up hanging out the whole night.
The dishes after I finished making the tea, and her sister is like, her youngest one was like, Mom, is Pedro staying? Or she goes, Aliah, is Pedro staying? And then her mom goes, yeah, he's staying.
And I was like, just very embarrassed. I mean, you guys.
Because I went in there blind. I didn't know what
he didn't know
my
if he
plan
was just going to make tea and leave. But he ended up staying for like 5 hours and like hanging out with my family and stuff, which he hadn't really met a lot of them or like hung out with them or anything. So that was kind of cool. But anyways, to not waste so much time on like little details, a few days passed. We're on a phone call together for this meeting for the youth camp or for youth groups. And pretty much he wants to tell me something. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll invite my best friend to come over and hang out with us. And because I was really trying to stick to that boundary. I wasn't just being willy-nilly with it. And he was like, actually, like, I really could talk. I want to talk to you about something. So I was like, okay, like, that's fine. And I knew I had family at the house too. So it wasn't like we were going to just be like me and him alone or anything. But I was like, okay, fine. Like, you can come over. And so he came over to our house and we're watching this movie and just hanging out. And it's a dark movie. So it's poor timing in this movie. There's like a really sad scene that's like that it just happened, and he pauses it, and I'm like, I really have to go to the bathroom. So I run to the bathroom, and then I come back and we play it, I think, a little bit more, and then maybe that's when it's a great movie, just very sad. And so it's just kind of a weird movie to be watching anyway. We pause it, and he turns to me, like we're sitting like not this close, but he was sitting on the couch, and he turns to me and he goes, I have feelings for you, and just falls into me like he's so embarrassed. Because I don't know why. I mean, it was just kind of, I guess it was kind of awkward telling someone you have feelings for them, but
sure.
I went like super like oldest sister mode, I would almost call it. I'm the oldest of 5. And so I'm like, give me the plan. Like, what's our next?
What are your intentions?
I literally was like, what are your intentions with me? Like with me. And I'm like, you're going to have to go through my dad. Like, I'm not just going to be dating you willy nilly or anything. Like, I'd never had a boyfriend. Pedro was my first boyfriend.
Wow.
Yeah. That's I guess a fun fact, which probably is part of even not to psychoanalyze myself, but probably part of like that's never going to happen attitude of like, could never be me. You know, because not that I haven't had guys interested or haven't like even gone out on dates, I guess, but never have like been in a relationship with someone that I really had feelings for in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we just kind of talked it out, and he was like, yeah, I'd love to take you out on a date. And I was like, okay, well, you have to, for me, it was really important. I'm very close to my dad. I was like, you need to ask my dad. Even just to go on a date with me. I don't care. You gotta ask my dad. And you have to go on a date with him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's the word.
And so...
And she had just showed me videos of him breaking bricks.
Yeah. He's
oh my God.
3rd-degree black belt.
4th-degree black belt.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's a scary dude, but also big teddy bear.
Sure.
My sisters are home at this point. There's some youth students of mine that are friends with my sisters that are in the dining room hanging out. This is only funny because like the whole reason I'm glad it didn't happen at Denny's is because it would have been in front of all these youth kids, which would have been weird. Well, it still was in front of a bunch of youth kids at my house in a way. because they're always everywhere, but they were in the dining room. And Pedro, my dad, comes home at this point. We already decided we're going on a date. And I'm like, okay, but you need to date my dad first, like just a date, I want to see what he thinks about you because I'm about to move. And so I don't want to waste my time. I'm like, I'm literally about to leave like in a month at this point. And so, so my dad comes home and he's making a grilled cheese or something like that. And Pedro just is like, should I do it now? And I'm like, sure. Not thinking it's like going to go well or that like he was going to even do it. I honestly was super impressed that he even had the guts to go up there because my dad is kind of scary. You guys know of my dad. He's kind of a scary man. And so anyways, he gets up, goes to the kitchen and he goes, hey, so I have feelings for your daughter. And
I did not say
what
that.
did you say?
I said I want to take. I did not say that.
Correct me.
What
Sorry.
in the world? That would be the weirdest thing to say. No, I said, hey, Eddie, I want to take your daughter on a date.
Sorry, guys.
But I hear I have to take you on a date first. When are you free? And he was like, are you free this Saturday? And I was like, I am. And he was like, okay, Summer Moon in Buda. See you there.
That was like
Summer Moon? Oh, come on. Could have picked something better.
I know, right? I know.
Hey, don't tell him. Don't tell him that.
No. But yeah, that was just kind of like I was super impressed. And I could tell my dad was super caught off guard. I do not think he was. I'm like,
He's like, I'm just trying to make a grilled cheese, bro. Like,
he was just like, yeah, Saturday? Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And my dad's a very confident guy, but I think he was just like, whoa, what? Because also my sisters have had boyfriends and stuff, but they were all like 13. And so he's not had like an adult guy man asking like his adult daughter. Like that's not, I don't think, a normal thing in normal situations that people are asking to date someone. I get like marriage busing or even maybe, I don't know. I guess I just feel like dating is not usually that thing, but for me it was really important. So I was really thankful that he was like so down and just did it. And they had a great time. They had a great date. My dad came back. I don't know if you want to talk about the date at all, but with my dad.
Well, I will say he said that like the reason he was, I think, impressed was because
he told me this. Yeah.
Okay, you can just.
So yeah, when they had been out for like 2 hours and I was stalking their location, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so long. I'm feeling really anxious about this.
We were just
because I also we also both know like we were dating to get married. We were not like, not that I'm like, I want to marry this person right now. Like, I'm like, no, I did not know I wanted to marry him yet. But I was like, the intention is not just to date to have fun. It's to date to be in a long-term relationship, like in marriage. And so I was like, it just felt really serious because it was also like, anyway. And he's also talking to my dad.
I went to see him. I brought him my cows. I said, these are the cows that I offer for your daughter.
Yes. He came back and he was like, he really impressed me. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, something that stood out to me was like, I asked him why Aliah, and he leaned in and he just started listing why. And it was just the leaning in that got my dad for some reason. He was like, yep, that was what I needed.
When he's talked to other people about similar things or other people in relationships, he's usually like,
she's pretty.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think like that was really nice to know that first that he was even like, because again, at this point, we're still just friends. We hadn't dated or anything. So it's weird to know that he's even, I found out 2 days ago that you have feelings for me. So it's weird to think that you've even like cared about me in that way. Yeah. Let alone like, anyway, like more as a friend, more than just a friend. When we knew that I cared about him in that way because I had told him I had feelings for him. But I think it just was very like, whoa, that's a lot of information.
He hit me with all the hard questions. He was like, do you see yourself marrying Aliah? If you guys go to church, where are you going to go? If like all this
stuff. Well, he asked that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like if you guys get married, like where are you going to go to church? Because he knew that I was youth pastor at another church at the time.
Like, and I was super involved in mine at the time.
And like I had my older brother also got with a pastor's daughter and married. And one of the questions also I remembered that was like, if we disagree on something, like what are you going to go with? And what he's really wanting is to know that you're going to be like leading his daughter well, like that you're not just going to try to please him. And I was like, I'm going to go like, if this is where we're called, then we'll go here. If this is where we're called, we'll go here. But I'm not like, I'm going to be doing right by your lady.
Yeah, that's like, I guess that was a lot of information, but that was all pre-dating. We go on our first date. We have a great time. We did like an all-day thing. We started at like 2, ended at 10. It was super fun. We did like 5 things in one day because we had already done, like, we already hung out so much. So it was like, what can we do that's fun? And so we made a lot of memories. It was very fun. And on that date, though, we actually, for like probably an hour and a half at the park, we had talked about like even future stuff and like what that would look like if we were in a relationship, just because I was literally about to move. So I'm not going to be able to just date you to get to know you more. And you were already my best friend. So it's like, why would I, if I didn't like enjoy this today, why? I don't know. It just felt, I was like, I know you so well. Obviously, I'm getting to know you in new ways, but like, we were already pretty much convinced of that, but we're like, this was really fun. Like, I actually really enjoy like this time with you, and like I really like you. And so like what's the next step? And so we were like, okay, I think we've decided that we're going to like do the whole boyfriend girlfriend thing, or whatever that means.
It means
Be in a
become
relationship,
exclusive.
become exclusive, tell everyone. Even though I was moving in a month. And so we were like, okay, talking about long distance and how that's going to play out. We literally had like so many serious conversations our first date, but I kind of liked it. It was very nice to just have it all on the table and be like, what do you think about this, this? But yeah, at the end of the night, I just texted my family. I was like, I have a boyfriend now. And yeah. And then that month was great. It was full of a lot of like emotions and like passion, just fun, and like, because I'm about to leave. And so we're just like, what can we do right now that's like super fun and like make, I guess, the beginning of our relationship memorable. So we were hanging out nonstop. I actually, like, we both, our families were both like, we don't see you guys anymore. But
Which I would not recommend.
No, I would not recommend that. But it was still like,
stay in community.
Definitely stay in community and with your family if your family's nice.
Yes.
But
that's how we got together.
Yes, sorry. That was really
I was like, you're already getting past, you've gone long past.
So did you. We're both over explainer chatty Cathys. So you're gonna have to cut us off if you need to.
No worries.
Feel free to cut us off.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, that sounds beautiful, but I know that at some point things got a little trickier.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we would like to hear more about that.
Yes. So
Man, I think it started long distance.
She actually, fun fact, we actually figured, like, established this today. She had relationship anxiety first.
Oh.
But I just didn't count it because I was just like, yeah, like a month into dating, she almost dumped me because she was long distance, and I think she was like, I just gotta pull the plug, you know.
I think it felt like it was probably maybe a month and a half in, only at this point. I had only been living there like a week at this time. What was I gonna say? I remember talking to my roommate who I just met, but I was processing with her and stuff. And now she was in my wedding. Like, we're really close, but I was just like, I think I don't want to just string him along. Cause like, I'm planning on being like away from Austin for the next 4 years at least. Like, spoiler alert, it didn't end up that way at all. Not by my account, but it didn't end up that way. Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to keep like just bringing him along with me everywhere I go and make him like wait for me just to finish everything I want to do. And also, I think there was just this like, am I worth him doing all that for? Like, I don't feel like it's important. I don't feel like I'm important enough, I guess, for that to be something that he sacrifices, is like dating other people or having a long distance girlfriend that he can't actually like do life with physically, you know, like go on actual dates or anything like that, you know? So yeah, I definitely was like, I feel like I might break up with this guy. And then a week after I moved, though, I was like, I'm going to go surprise my family. It was only a few hours. So I drove back, only a few hours away. So I drove back and we ended up having like a date that night, which was fun, and got to talk just a lot about like everything serious, like sad that I was feeling, and like process through it, I guess. And even open up about like, I got to open up about like past stuff that I had dealt with, which was really nice. And just like really got to be vulnerable. I think that was also part of it too, is I was just like kind of holding a lot of this stuff deep inside. And it wasn't until I think I got it out that I was like, oh, I really like this guy. Like, He's so easy to talk to. And yeah.
And then like, so we had like 6 months of like rose tinted glasses, long distance, high, super high emotions, especially because we're long distance. And so it's just like, oh, I love you, all that stuff. And then we go on a trip to Mexico with my family. And then like, I think right before we left, I started being I started to come down from the roller coaster, and I just started questioning like everything about the relationship.
Which we had already been like 6 months in,
and I was like
talking about like,
I was like, if I had it my way, we'd get married in January.
Yeah. He was saying some bold things, and I was like, "What was there, dude?"
Feelings.
I was like, "Wow, that's a lot."
And so like that just kind of started like a spiral, like, because there were a few things that were coming up that caused that kind of like just like low hum of just like a pit in my stomach like every time we hung out. And uh like being, I guess, like super, I don't know, I guess just like, what is it, the lack of a better term is just like jumpy, being super doubtful, questioning everything and assigning crazy meaning to everything, like, oh man, like she didn't know this thing about me, or she responded in this way, or like this sort of thing, like trying to like almost like build some kind of a case for something that I don't even really know what it is. And like, yeah, I guess there were a few, like the other thing that was going on was like that same time when we were in Mexico, I started having dreams like where I was hanging out with her in the dream or something like that. And then like suddenly like she would turn into an ex that I had. And like, I was like, whoa, what? And I kept having these dreams and they were really messing me up. And then like, yeah, I just stopped being like, I guess you can speak a little bit to your experience during that.
Yeah, I think I was dealing with a lot of like, again, first boyfriend, and like I also was not quick to like, I guess, say I love you or anything. I was like kind of just very weary. But once I like was like, oh, I love this guy, like I want to like be with this guy, I was like all in, and not like pushy, I wouldn't say. I don't know. But I was like, I really like, I love you, and I'm like, I want to work through whatever with you. But I also think because he's my only boyfriend, and because I knew of his exes, or I knew like of like how his relationships were with his exes, I think there was a lot of comparison. And I think I also personally had dealt with a lot of identity stuff, even like physically, like with my like appearance. And I think just like this questioning of like, am I even an attractive person, or like, am I like, I don't know, how could you like me more than this person based on purely like even just looks? I think was a lot of my problem, was like just external comparison. And yeah, so I think like during that time I was like, oh my gosh, like everything's going downhill. Like he's closing off, and like he doesn't love me.
And then on top of that, like what really set me off was when I went, so I get coffee with her dad regularly. And like when we were starting to get more serious, he said, just so you know, you don't have to marry Aaliyah. And I was like, yeah, I know that. He's like, I'm not saying that I don't want you to. And I'm not even trying to like push you in any direction. You just need to know that you don't have to do anything. Which, like, I'm glad he did that. That also sent me spiraling. Because I was like, am I doing this because I have to? Like all of these things. And it made me, yeah, I think I just started, what I started experiencing was withdrawal. I started experiencing such harsh judgment on our connection, on like her character, on how I feel like, around her.
I think
like,
it's also even important, like, I wasn't at the best point in my life at this point. My school had just shut down. That's the reason I had moved back. So I moved back at this point, and I had gone through a lot personally in that whole year. Throughout the whole year, I'd got my family, and I had gone through a lot of things. Like every other month was something huge and something new. It's like 5 of the biggest life changes that could happen to you all in like 1 year or 2 years for me and my family. And so there was just a lot happening in me. And I think like I wouldn't say I was a bad girlfriend or anything like that, but I do think like, especially me coming home, it should be a happy thing because now we're together. But I was really sad because this thing that I wanted to do and loved and that I was planning on doing for a long time, like was just literally like dumped down the garbage. And so I think it was just kind of a weird dynamic too, because now we're not long distance anymore, but this is really hard because I'm struggling. And then you have like, oh, not doubts, or I guess doubts. Yeah. So it was just kind of a weird mix of things. Both of us were dealing with our own things and not able to, I think, fully talk about them. Like, I don't think we knew how to fully.
Well, I didn't talk to her about it for like a year.
No, I was going to ask you, like, how much were you aware, Leah, of what he's experiencing? Okay,
I didn't know what he was thinking or anything because I remember one day specifically we were hanging out with some mentors of ours that ended up doing our premarital counseling.
That's way later, but
no, this was like on our way to hang out with them. We were just getting dinner with them. This is not premarital. Okay. We're just going to hang out with them one day. And I remember we're on our way. I vividly remember it because I was like, I know he's lying to me. But he was not a liar. Like, he's not like telling me something different. I'm like, I don't think he knows that he's lying to me, but he's not telling me what's going on. And I think I just point blank asked him, I was like, have you been okay? Like, are you okay? And this is like a year into us dating at this point or something. Again, best friends before. So like I already knew him really well. And I like to think I know him pretty well as dating now at this point after a year and then being his best friend. But I was like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just thinking about this. And it was like a song. I'm like, you don't look like that when you're thinking about songs.
Yeah.
You look like that when you're thinking about like really not fun things. And so I'm like, this is not what I'm thinking about a song.
But like for me, I was like, because I was experiencing doubts about the relationship, I was experiencing like just harsh judgment on our relationship. I was experiencing like what I had determined was a lack of chemistry or even like feelings of it. What it really was a lack of infatuation, but I had interpreted it as a lack of attraction. Mm-hmm. And so obviously I can't talk to her about that. Mm-hmm. Even though that doesn't actually make sense because that's kind of what you're supposed to do when you're dating someone.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't tell her about this. Obviously, I'm just going to die. Like,
but I remember thinking like, okay, something's going on and he doesn't like, he's not one to hold things back either. Like if he knows what's going on, he would usually tell me. And I don't think he knew how to, because one time he did try processing it with me and it was a very hurtful conversation.
Yeah, no, I think we had even talked about it on the group coaching thing, oversharing things that you don't need to overshare.
Yes. And so I'm like, that was more hurtful, I think, than I needed.
Well, because it ended up turning into, because like, let's be real, out of all of this, like not to like take our responsibility from like her or anything on like different things, but as far as this issue went, was me. Like there were things that I needed to deal with. There were things that I needed to face, and it ended up turning into like when I first did it, I was like, obviously, let me go after like the surface level things. Like it literally was just like I don't feel as attracted to you as I used to. You should start wearing makeup.
Like it was so bad, and he even in the conversation was literally like, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't either. Stop. Like, I don't like what you're saying. Like, this is rude. And I'm like,
if I could do it again, I would not have done that.
No, but I don't think that's what you meant. Like, I don't think I'm like.
No, it isn't. It isn't because, like I said at the beginning,
say makeup. You make it sound like I'm ugly.
No. I didn't say like no. I was like doing a very callous version of the conversation as a joke.
No, okay? It was like it was.
I did not tell him to.
No, it was. He didn't tell me to just start wearing makeup. He just said it like very bluntly. But he was like, it was still, even though that wasn't the entire conversation, it was very long. It was still kind of a hurtful conversation, and so I'm like, this isn't really fun. Like, I know something's going on. This doesn't feel like that's it, but it's okay. Like, we'll just, I think I just was like, okay, we'll end up getting to it when he realizes what it is. I can't force it out of him though, either.
Yeah.
And at this point though, we'd been talking about getting married and stuff. And he actually had been sitting on a ring for like months at this point.
I got a ring in March and I got it and didn't do anything about it because I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. And so like, he had a ring for a long time, and I didn't know that until there was finally a point, I would say in the fall, I remember, of that same year that he got the ring. So just later that year. I was going through a lot again with my family. Like there was just a lot going on. And I think I just started like a new job or something. I was just really beat all the time. And he like hit like a breaking point of just like, I remember bits and pieces of our conversation, but it was literally like, are we breaking up right now? Why are we breaking up right now? We don't need to break up right now. Like, what's going on? It was just a lot of, it was literally all your anxiety. Just like spilling out the fight. Like it was like the bottle popped and
I was just like, I can't take it anymore. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I feel like
every interaction was like so numb. Like I was like, you're not even here with me anymore. And I don't know what's wrong. And actually, I think what started the whole conversation, I remember, I think I literally said, I'm like, I know we've talked about marriage. I'm like, what? I asked him, when do you think you want to get married? And he said, I don't know. But we'd already talked about it at this point. And so I was like, whoa, and you're like changing your mind now? He's like, my 30s. I'm like, what?
She would bring up like marriage, and we used to talk about it all the time, but now she's bringing it up, and I would like change the subject.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's completely 180 like flip.
Or I would like not acknowledge like that she brought it up. Or something like that.
And I was like, okay, we need to have more conversations then, because obviously this is built up from something that I don't know about that I would love to talk with you about.
And I was literally like at the point where I was like, I don't know what's wrong, but something's wrong. But I also feel like I can't break up with you because like I don't know why I would want to. Like like that's so real. So that's I was so confused. It was horrible. It was horrible.
It was not a fun. It was just tears and conversations. And like the thing is, we don't,
like if I were to rationalize a reason, it would be because I don't feel good. Like which didn't feel like a good reason, but then I'm still stuck with not feeling good in our relationship and I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah,
exactly. And I just, even to add that too, I think that's literally where almost like I would say every single one of our clients or people who follow us or listen to are at. They're like, I don't feel good. I don't really know what's going on. So it must be the relationship. And so therefore I'm gonna dip. But I don't know if I want to dip, but I also don't understand what's going on. Like that's literally.
Or people also think it must be God.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like I guess like God has the one planned for me, and this is Him like sovereignly hardening my heart, like He did Pharaoh.
Yes, exactly. And I think that just even put some response to how the conversation went. Like we've mentioned that before, even probably in our call, but also in the past podcast. Matthew, how he tried to share with me too was very hurtful. So he just said like I sometimes question if I'm attracted to you or not. I'm like, what the heck does that mean?
Kind of was our conversation. So yes, I actually remember, funny like plug, I remember listening to that episode after our conversation because I was like, there's no way that that's normal, or that like that not even that it's normal, but that should be
how you approach
that conversation. Right. And you guys happened at that point. It was really weird. It was like within a few months, either before or after that conversation, that you guys had posted your story or something about that. And I was like, oh, well, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Like, I'm not the only one. No, but really, I think that's it's super, especially when you're in that in between, you're unsure of what's going on. Like, it's like I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's the same thing too. That's why also I refused to end the relationship when I was feeling anxious, because I was like, I have no reason. This relationship is good. Like, there's no, like, it's healthy, and I literally, it's on my own insecurities, my own, fears and things coming up. And also I was like, as a man of God, as a Christian, there are things I listen to and things I don't listen to. And I don't listen to doubt. I don't listen to fear. I don't listen to feelings.
Right.
Because those are not my leaders, and they don't guide my decisions. And so that's why I was like, let me see, like, what are the reasons I would, continue this relationship and choose that. And obviously I'm glad I did that, because then I was able to discover a lot of things about myself and about anxiety and God and everything. So yeah, I feel like it's just relatable to what you guys are sharing. But then, so because obviously at some point you decided to come to us. And so how did that happen?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was like going back and forth in my head, and like my only because, like I said, I didn't have a good reason to end the relationship. At least when I was thinking through like just the quality of the relationship, the fruit of the relationship, the character, her character, and even just the character of the relationship. And but like I kept thinking of like the various stories you hear, like in like The Notebook. You know, she's with a really great guy, which if you think about it, is actually like not a good, like he wasn't a person that she should have like ended a relationship with for some random fling. Like if you actually look at it, but it's like portrayed in our culture as like if you have someone that even though everything is right, but it just doesn't feel right, you got to end it. You
Yeah.
know, like you just
Yeah.
you got to do it because you got to get your flame or whatever, your true flame.
Yeah.
And
Feel
so
good.
yeah, exactly. And like there's like trope after trope after trope that you find where it's like they were with a really good person, but it just wasn't the. And so like I had this judgment in my head of like, what if that's me? Like, what if I'm with someone that's really good, but it's just not the one, you know? Even though like I would profess that I don't believe in the one, even when I was going through all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I would profess that, but let's be real, like I still did, obviously. Like my
Right.
actions were communicating that I did believe in that.
Mhm.
And yeah, and so we I guess got to a point we had these really great people in our lives that we love very much. Can we say their name?
No, let's just not say names.
Mentors, just mentors. Yes. And we, I guess, did you suggest bringing them into it, or
I think so. I was living with them at the time, so it was very easy. They knew everything that was going on because they're like my mentors. And one of them has known me since they're a married couple. He's known me since I was 14. He was my youth leader when I was in high school and moved here with my family, with him and his wife. And I met his wife when I was 17 and because they got married when I was 17. And then I've known all their kids and then he was my youth pastor. I worked for him in like 2 different jobs, like in the church and not in the church. Like we worked at a coffee shop together. Like we are involved in each other's lives in every way. And I lived with them at the time. And so they know me really well. And I would just talk with her, the wife, about like everything going on. And turns out that she was kind of like, maybe Pedro should meet with him, like my husband, because like this sounds really similar to what we went through. And like it might be good to just even know that there's other people that kind of are dealing with that, I guess, or that have dealt with that. And so we both go to them and literally like her story, it's not the same story. It's not carbon copy or anything like that. But there were so many things in it. And they're like one of the most inspirational, like married couples I could ever like. I just look up to them so much as husband and wife.
Family,
yeah, I'm like you see the fruit of their life in everything that they do, and living with them, I got to literally witness it because like you don't know what happens behind closed doors or at home and stuff. But living with them, I lived with them for like a year and a half, and I got to see even their bad days. Like she was pregnant for a lot of the time I lived with her, and like she was going through a lot. And I remember like even their bad days, I just loved watching like how they were able to like still support each other and literally everything. And so I was like, I would love to glean from you guys in any way that we can. So we get together with them and kind of just hash it out.
They just go, they have like a campfire in their backyard. We make some food and we like sit around the campfire and they're like,
really, it was, let's get to know Pedro because they knew me.
Yes, that's what it was. But it was so funny because her intro was like, we were doing small talk and she was like, so you guys want to talk about your relationship?
She was super funny.
She was great. And yeah, they ended up just being like, so what's the dealio? And I just kind of like, I actually didn't even really talk about the relationship. I didn't even know that I was going to do it, but I ended up just kind of talking about
your past relationship,
my past relationship and my past like issues that I had dealt with, like traumas or things like that had informed, I guess, brought me to this point. And
then he shared his,
which I think we hadn't really talked about yet. She actually got to know a lot more of it. And I got to go into like unhealthy relationships and like things that I had experienced there. And then I asked him for his, and he literally was like his story. He had like a long, like very unhealthy relationship that and then it ended. And then a little bit after, he had never really gone through the healing process for that relationship. And then he started dating his now wife, and it was really great. And then out of nowhere, he started questioning their chemistry and questioning like his attractiveness to her and like all of this stuff. Same, like literally like different names, same deal, like same themes.
Wow.
And they ended up breaking up
For a year.
Wow.
And then they got back together.
Because she was like, have you done anything towards figuring this out? And he was like, no. She was like, we're done.
And so she was really honest with me even through it all. Like, she was like, hey, like, I know you really love this guy, and he's really, like, they knew him at this point. Like, they were getting to know him, and she's like, and he's awesome. And like, if you have permission to break up with him, kind of was what she had told me. Cause like, that was so scary for me. I was like, but I want to give him more chances and stuff. And I want to give him more time. And I think like, yes, when you see maybe like effort, maybe, or I don't know, like in that whole year, I was like giving you chance after chance after chance. And there was a point where I was like, we finally got to that breaking point of like, are we breaking up? Because this is just not going anywhere. Like, this is like,
and that's what brought us
it feels
to talk
dead.
to them.
And then, yeah.
He, like, one of the things he mentioned that stuck out to me from their story was that, like, they did get back together, but then as they were, like, together for that time, he got complacent again. And, like, he actually had to ask her mentors for permission. She was like, you got to ask them if you can, like, back into my life. And he got back and they were like dating again, but then he like still wasn't taking those steps. And how does like there's a bad word in what they say. What am I allowed to say it, or would you prefer I indicate to it?
What?
I'll just say
the cuss word?
Huh? The cuss word.
Oh, don't say cuss word.
I won't say a cuss word. He said
Pedro.
He said, listen, it's part of the story. That's why I was the mentor looks at him and he says, poop or get off the pot.
Okay.
He literally was like, you're not going to waste her time again.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And they kind of like indicated at that, like to me as well. And I was like, thank you for that. Like, I didn't like, and none of it was like trying to like protect ego in it. I was like, literally like, give me a reason for either decision.
And they were my biggest fans. They're also not biased though, in the way that they're like, Aliah's perfect and everything, but they're also like, she's pretty amazing.
Yeah, one thing he said
on?
that stuck with me, he was like, I don't want you to like try to pursue something that's wrong for you. If God actually is telling you that it's wrong for you, he's like, I don't want you to do that. He was like, I also don't want you to throw away what could be a love beyond what you would have imagined for yourself. Like, if the thing that you had imagined.
That's the kicker.
Yeah. If you had like you obviously have an idea of what you had imagined your relationship and future marriage to be like. He's like, I don't want you to abandon like healthy values, but I don't want you to throw away what could exceed your current expectations.
That's so good. That is so good.
Yeah.
I just want to emphasize that real quick, because I think that is where so many people get stuck. They have this image and they feel like at times like, well, this person is great. Like, I can name all these things about this person, but also, am I like settling because this is not exactly what I pictured and all this stuff? Then they make it very spiritual, but like, what if God wants more from me? I'm like, that sounds so cute, but that is such that is not real. And that, like, I think for most people, that's very much where they're at, where it's like, I really think it's a lot of it's dying to this image that you thought was exactly what you wanted, and what is actually happening for me not to be able to see what's right in front of me. Right. And I think that's where you were.
Yeah. I think even like, it's not just about you.
Yeah.
It's like actually about the other person too. Even I think obviously marriage is very different than dating, but like
you're trying to, in dating, figure out who you want to pursue for the rest of your life, not who wants to make you feel good for the rest of your life. Like Tim Keller in The Meaning of Marriage, shameless plug, calls it pessimistic idealism. And it's this clinging to this ideal that ends up causing you to approach your life in a pessimistic posture, because nothing is ever going to be this ideal.
And so I think like that, finally getting to a point of like meeting with them and stuff. I remember I had been listening to the podcast and stuff for a few months at this point, and I had sent him a few, and I think he might have listened to a few, but he was like so flooded that like nothing that I think you were hearing was like even really being intercepted, I guess. Or I mean, it was all being intercepted.
No,
by
but
whatever.
the mentors had basically told us that, hey, what we recommend is that you guys take 6 months and just date and don't talk about marriage. Don't worry about it. Just be present and enjoy each other. And like looking at me going, and you do the work that you need to do on your own during this time.
Because my fault was I was like so worried about, are we going to get married at this point?
Yeah.
I was like, I love you. I want to get married to you. Why aren't we? Was kind of where I was at.
And so like it was going to be present, enjoy each other, me do the work that I need to do on myself to figure out like to be confident about whatever decision I was going to make. And at the end of that 6 months, if there is still indecision, that is in itself a decision. And we're going to have a come to Jesus. If I'm still undecisive, we are going to break up.
Yeah. We were like, we're going to have a very hard conversation at the end of 6 months, hard or easy, whatever. And it was a hard conversation, even though he had done so much healing at that point and like had even gone through all of the coaching. Like there was still obviously healing that needed to be done, but it wasn't like he wasn't trying or wasn't actually pursuing it. Like it wasn't like, I just got lazy.
I wasn't done doing the work that I needed to do, but I was in the middle of it. And so I was like, I feel good staying in this relationship.
Yeah.
But that conversation, them telling me this is the 6 month plan, all this kind of thing is what led me to be like, you know what? I think I should do the coaching. And so
yeah, it was, and we were like, I think we liked the idea too, because it was like group coaching, which actually I think was way better, I would say, for you, no? Because you
getting to hear
got to hear all these people.
We can talk about that in a little bit, but that answers your...
Sorry.
Yes, I was wanting to answer the question.
Sorry.
It's okay. Hey, well, even if we're talking about coaching and you being in it, you can say to the podcast too, like what do you feel like was helpful for you? Or also like, what do you feel like you learned from that maybe helped you continue in this relationship?
Yeah. One, I think the first thing was hearing all of these people going through the exact same thing that I was going through, and all of us having like the respect and humility to be like, hey, we're not going to like pull punches. Like all of these people, and like me bringing up like thoughts that I literally thought I was the worst person for having, and like bringing those up, and all of the people in the group just being like, yeah, like not judging at all. Like it actually makes me a little bit emotional, because like that's like I remembered having to carry those for so long, and then going into this coaching with all of these people, and like no one is holding on to ego, no one's trying to save face, everyone is like, we all want to figure this out, and there's going to be no faking it, no BS, none of that stuff. And so I would say that was like,
I remember him even telling me literally like, I'm not by myself, like I'm not alone, all these people, like he's like, there was like 5 that have like this, they're going through the same exact thing I'm going through.
But I think what I loved about it though was like you had that space of vulnerability, but it also wasn't just a venting fest. You know, it wasn't a place where we were all just going to fester and be like, yeah, isn't it awful? And now let's do nothing about it. It was like from the get-go, you guys were like, this is our goal. These are the steps we're going to take. And this is your first step. Here's your homework. Go do it. And yeah, I'm the kind of person that like, to a fault, sometimes like I apply stuff right when I do it. Like I'll be reading a book, like a personal growth book, and I won't even finish the book before I try to implement it, which actually is not great, but it is like to an extent. I was like, I'm not going to waste my time here. I'm going to like do the stuff they're saying to do.
Sure.
And so,
I noticed the difference for sure.
Wait, what was it?
No, so it's better to do it right away than not do it at all.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning the like 6 month marker. Like I kind of have like 6 months to figure this out. I'm like, all right, yeah. Let's go. I guess like whatever. And like, I remember too, there was a call where because I know you already mentioned that you had a ring. And I remember on the call, I don't remember if you like, can you tell me in this, because you had that 6 months, I don't remember when we had it, because it was a while ago now, and our coaching was about 8 weeks or something, so about 2 months. And then from there, up until like you engaged. Can you tell me the time on that real quick? I just want to make sure so I say before I say my thing.
From like the 6 months to engaged, or from coaching to engaged?
From the coaching to engaged.
From coaching, we started coaching in like what?
In January, February, or it was in the winter, and you ended in March or April.
March, April.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay.
And then we got
engaged in
July,
June.
Okay. Okay, so 3 months. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because when, for you, Pedro, when did you feel like, because you're saying, I know I still had work to do, which I think is very normal to kind of do, but there was something like, what, even in that, it was a while ago, felt like, I think I have, like, I'm maybe understanding that this is maybe way more me, even if you're coming in knowing that there's stuff happening for you, but what helped, I'm just curious, like, what maybe, helped you figure out that there was like more going on? What do you feel like maybe was the main thing that you were working on in our group? I should say that.
Yeah, I would say for me, I had realized that I had actually created we met after I had recently started following Jesus, and I had also just ended like a really long relationship, and I tried dating after that, and then it didn't go well, and I was like, I'm gonna be single for a year because that's what you do. And like, yes, I didn't do any work though. like I just was single. That's it. I didn't like face anything that I needed to. And like after that relationship had ended, I had taken so many vows. I had basically built this. That was where not just then, I realized that in that relationship ending, and also in previous rejections, like in middle school, or even like things I had experienced with my parents, like there were these like strongholds or like core beliefs that I had built that I didn't realize were driving my life. Or like I've heard John Deloney, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's a writer, author, and he talks about how every person has this like mental image of their life that they're moving towards subconsciously. And when something doesn't fully add up with that image, they like freak out or abandon it. And so I had realized that I had established all of these like different like truths that I was like letting guide my life. And I was like, okay, I need to find all of these, and I need to uproot those. Like I need to see what got me to believe that, and then I need to renounce it, which is, I guess, like sort of an emotional approach, but also a spiritual approach. Like that's the renewal of the mind. Yeah, and I would say like recognizing that like these things that I had established as like full like divine things that I was being disobedient to in my relationship are actually not that. And so I basically had to like do some tearing down and some building back up, if for lack of a better term. And so
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good
For sure.
That makes sense. It's what we do in coaching.
Yeah.
And I think it's those things too where you realize that there's once you're understanding like what are the core beliefs and things that are driving you, it's like, well, yeah, I can't actually continue living like that because it's not serving me at all. It's really not helping me in any way. It's just like something that I'm doing that's just like I can either go this direction and then keep getting in new relationships, and then something else will come up that'll be the same thing. You know what I mean? Because the reality is it's not really about the person. It's about what I'm believing in this moment that makes it feel like this is right. And this is what I need to be holding on to. And most people are like, well, when I end up being with the right person, none of this will happen. And it's like, guess what? If there are strongholds and core beliefs that are wiring you and driving you, it's going to show up in the next relationship too until you figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is that in between moment where people feel like, should I stay or leave? Like a lot of the times, like how about you figure out what's going on and then, figure out what's going from there, which I'm glad that you did.
Me too.
Because yeah, I'm sure you guys are very happy with that because obviously fast forward, you guys are married.
Yeah.
I think that that's like, I don't know, this perspective and this change that you allowed yourself to be in, and also you, Leah, being patient with that, because that was me on the other end of like, Lord, I don't know, this guy is crazy, and also I'm like, I don't know if I should stay here because this is like emotionally it can feel like a lot, but also I'm having to learn to myself like I know my value, I know my worth, I know what like I deserve. If he's not willing to meet that, then that's fine. I'm willing to let this go, but you need to figure this out.
Yeah.
Which we don't talk very much about the partner being in it, like the
Mhm.
other person on the other end of it. And I'm curious for you, Aaliyah, when you were seeing him just as he was doing coaching, you knew that he was doing it, and like hopefully it works, hopefully it doesn't, right? But you're unsure.
Mhm.
Tell me what was like that process was like for you, kind of in this in between.
Yeah, I think even just him deciding to do coaching, I already noticed a difference. Because it was like, even just him wanting to even try to grow or fix or whatever to this relationship. Because, like, for a year, it was like just looking at a wall. Like, there was nothing. There was I wouldn't say no effort, because obviously we're still in a relationship, but like, really, there was no growth. There was nothing. Like,
I think I would say there was no effort.
yeah, okay. Well, there you go.
Like I was on the other side, like, or not even no effort. I think it was just like acceptance of like paralysis.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think I could see
complacency.
that. Yes. And I could see that. And so even him deciding to do coaching was like, I was like, oh, wow. Like, he's actually, even if I literally remember talking to him about doing coaching, and I was like, even if we don't end up together, I'm going to be so happy that you do this. Like, if you, like, that you're doing this. Because I was like, it wasn't about, for me, I had to get over myself. Like, I'm like, this isn't about just me. It's, and I don't want to also like ignore myself, you know. I don't want to be like just waiting around for this guy that doesn't even want to do anything or doesn't even care about me, you know. But that I knew that wasn't the case either. And I think I got to a point where I was like, okay, like, even if it doesn't end up working out, like, even if for some reason we break up, like, I hope that this sets you up for potentially even your next relationship. Not that I want you to be in a different one. I want to be with you forever.
Well, because there was this belief that like me even doing it, like I shouldn't even have to do the coaching.
Yeah.
Like if this is a good relationship, it's just going to be a good relationship. Like, and if it isn't, it's just bad. And so,
yeah.
But I wouldn't say that about anything else that takes hard work. Like,
like
I wouldn't say that about writing a book. I wouldn't say that about making a film. Like, it should be easy to like write a book. Like, just do it.
Yeah.
Like,
no. But I remember like thinking even just him doing it, I think was a huge deal. And like, I was like, wow, like I see something already different in him. And then through the coaching, I think kind of like what he said, he's a very quick, is it applicator with applier? I don't know. He's very quick at applying everything. But, and so even, I think he'd even feel inspired sometimes to just be like, hey, let's try this thing. I'm like, whoa, you're doing coaching. Yes, I am not. And I'm down to do these things, but like, let's,
I'm not. I was like, she was having a hard time. I was like, what's your core belief? Like,
I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm down to learn all these things. And I'm like, I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm also like, I don't know what you're talking about. So to me, it's a lot of information. But I think like it was cool getting to see him inspired, especially inspired by something that was in like regarding a relationship. Because I don't think I had seen that since we first started dating. And not like the whole chemistry thing of like butterflies are all back and all of, you know, like it wasn't even that. I think there's still inspiration and like devotion towards a relationship in the beginning that you can find throughout your relationship. Like, it's not like just this, I don't think that needs to be a roller coaster or something. Cause I know like,
it's kind of myopic to get super hyper fixated on infatuation and chemistry, because that's like this much of like barely any of your relationship is those like the beginning part of it. Like, is that stuff that like gets you to be in that relationship. And like, if you think about it, it's actually getting you in your relationship to get you into that long-term connection that's built on like values and like that's built on like mission and calling and all of those things. Or like, as my counselor says, you start with dopamine so that you can get oxytocin. Like,
and I feel like you doing that though, like the coaching and you being inspired again about the relationship even, or even just like actually putting effort into it, even brought up though some of, I think like, or brought back, I don't know if that would be the word, but the chemistry that like everyone wants throughout their whole relationship, that when they leave it because it's gone, I'm like, even attraction, or what would you call that?
But it's infatuation. It's fluttery feelings, and like, because infatuation isn't bad. like it's just not love. Like it's just like a definitions thing.
But
like,
I think because you were sorry, keep going.
Well, you experience like the fruit of connection when you work on your connection.
Yeah.
You experience it because like you're working on your relationship. Like,
yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I think because he was actually like putting effort into our relationship for the first time in a long time, and actually like wanting to, not that like you always want to. There's the thing. I could tell you that I don't always want to. And that's, I think, normal for a lot of people. But I think like the fact that he was doing it, even though I knew it was really hard for him a month before, like was bringing a lot of that back. And it was like feeling fun. And I think that even you witnessing you experience like, wait, like this can come and go. Like that's normal for like this infatuation or like this fun little season. Like, like, I guess I don't know if you guys did long distance or whatever, but like whenever you don't see someone for a while, whenever you get back together, it's like oh my gosh, like I missed you so much. And oh yeah, go get the chart. Sorry, the battery's gonna die soon. But I think like it kind of felt like that. It felt like I hadn't seen him in so long. And through the coaching, I was like, oh wow, like you're back. And like I think that was really cool. And something I noticed after the coaching before engagement though, so I don't know if this was during or after coaching, I think it was after, was like something that was cool is his ifs started turning into like whens instead of like this constant questioning of like if we get married or if we have kids or if we do this, if we do that.
That's what I was going to say actually, which I don't know if you have like a different question, but just kind of like going back to what you were saying about like what I was working through that kind of led to I guess the big breakthrough and everything, or I guess it was like little breakthroughs like along the way, but like I was not just doing the coaching. I was doing the coaching. I was reading a book called Wild at Heart, which was just like about like healing the masculine soul. And like, so I got to a point where doing the coaching wasn't like, I was really okay with it. Not because it wasn't just about this relationship. I was like, I'm doing this like, just it's a long-term investment. And I started realizing like one of my main things was after not just that relationship, but anytime I'd experience a rejection, I was like, I'm going to find something that is one-ing up this thing in every way. And like, but what I really meant was like, I'm going to be better than this part or this part of this person or this part of this person. And like, kind of as a way of like justifying why I should never have been rejected. And I also, while working through that stuff, I had a friend share a prophetic word with me who didn't know what I was going through at all with the relationship. And he had shared, he had two words that he had come to mind. He was like, one, you're about to complete a season that you've been going through for a while, and you're going to complete it by embracing bravery. And she didn't know about any of that prophetic word because I was like, you put it away and I'm going to pray on it. And one of the times when we were on the phone, this is close to when the ifs started turning into whens. I do this thing where like we do this thing called spirit blessing, where like you look them in the eye and you're like, I bless your spirit, and you just say a blessing like over the person,
like pray over them.
And I asked her if she could bless my spirit, and she was like, and she didn't know about any of this. She was like, I bless your spirit to be brave. And I was like it felt like a confirmation for me. Like now, I know that like looking for signs and stuff like that, like usually if I'm spiraling isn't a good thing, but there was like it was rooted in truth, which is why I was like really comforted by it. And then after that, like I remembered just like I had done the emotional work and the soul work of working through those thoughts and doing my part. And I knew that there was like a part that actually like I guess as a follower of Jesus, I was like, I know there's a part of this that actually is spiritual, that is beyond like what I can do, you know? Like, and it, not like for this relationship, I'm not like, God, I need you to make me like this person. It was like, I need you to make me brave. Cause like, even in me and Matthew's one-on-ones, we realized that like, cause I had never seen myself as someone who dealt with comparison. Cause I was like, I don't know. It's just like you see everybody's pimples, but your own. Like, I was like, obviously that's just something that insecure people deal with. Like, But like I had been so double-minded of constantly, not even just in my relationship, but in every area of my life, like measuring up against like other people's things that they've experienced, like whether it's their job, whether it's ministry opportunities. And like I needed to be free from double-mindedness.
Yeah.
And so like again, I'm not needing God to fix my relationship. I'm needing God to like bring healing to parts of my soul that I've like built in these strongholds. And like I've made partnerships with really unhealthy things emotionally and spiritually. And we're at church, and because I had done my part, I felt more confident in just literally interceding for like breakthrough in my soul in those things. And she's talking to me. We're at my house after church, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm something if we get married." And I don't even know what prompted me to do it. I just was like, I'm going to start to live as if I am free, like from being double-minded. I'm not going to pretend to like her. I'm not going to do like these different things and fake my way. I'm going to believe that I have been healed from double-mindedness and comparison and these different wounds. And so like I looked at her and I was like, not if, when. And I literally felt like totally free from like I felt excited about marrying her. I felt like confident in
you
like
started
my
planning
decisions.
the engagement, I think, within that week.
Because I was like what I loved in that one-on-one when we were talking through comparison and double-mindedness was like I like always read in James, like if anyone lacks wisdom, ask God for wisdom and he'll give it to whoever asks. But I didn't pay attention to him saying, but let them ask in faith, nothing wavering, for a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways, and they shouldn't expect to receive anything from the Lord. And I had been asking for wisdom about my relationship, but I wasn't asking for wisdom for a specific decision. I was just like, yeah, tell me what to do. Like
kind
do
of being lazy
do it
with
for
it.
me,
Yeah.
pretty much. But what I needed to do was ask for wisdom to stay with her or wisdom to break up with her. Like I needed to choose one of those and pray for wisdom for that decision. And so me doing that, actually I was being like of single mind, not double-minded, and moving forward, and everything was just like getting rooted and stronger with each time I did that.
I love that. That's really good. That's really good.
That's great. That's awesome.
And maybe we can just as I want to hear, I just want to know one piece of advice that you guys would share for someone who's experiencing this, because you guys are in the best way living way past that now, like obviously like from the testimony. And for those maybe who are in it right now, who are in that same place you guys were, what is one piece of advice you'd give someone who is experiencing that?
I was thinking about this question earlier actually, and I was like, this isn't as much, I feel like you might have a better answer as for like what the person experiencing the anxiety like can do in themselves, but I don't know. But for me, I think like a big one is like stay in community with people that aren't going to have a bias, and people also that like aren't going to not keep you accountable. Like I think it's really easy to find people that are going to tell you what you want to hear, even if it's like break up. Like I had friends telling me to break up with Pedro because they were like, he is questioning what he said, what? And I'm like, relationships aren't perfect. Also, we are not in an unhealthy like relationship. Like I'm like, there's a difference between I think like bad relationships or like even abusive relationships and things like that. Like obviously there are very serious things that like yes you need to consider. None of that is anything that close to what we were experiencing. It was just like hard conversations that honestly everyone will end up having in some way or another in their marriage, if not in their dating or, you know. And so I had some friends literally like break up with him without even knowing him or knowing anything about my relationship, just knowing how I'm hurt. But the thing is, I'm going to keep getting hurt and I'm probably going to keep hurting him. We just need to try to like grow together still and like, you know. And so it wasn't until I think like I wasn't also finding people though that were telling me, oh, it's fine, you should just stay with him. Like this husband and wife that we were talking to, it was like, we obviously want this to work out for you guys. break up if you need to break up. Like, they were not like, it's fine, it'll work out. Because I had people saying that too. And I think having people in your life, whether that's like mentors, even peers, I guess, or even like in coaching, like in like what you guys do, I think having people that are able to really just be honest with you and like actually read back what you just read to them. Like, because I think it's really easy to perceive something and just say what you want them to hear. But when you have people that can be really straight up with you, I think that's like a big blessing. And so finding that, and if you don't have that, even finding that somewhere, I guess, whether that's in coaching or more community or in church or in therapy, like I feel like there's just a lot of outlets, but definitely finding like an unbiased, like honest, safe person or people that like their heart is for you, and to see like, I guess just to see it all work out, good or bad, like, but I would say people for sure, community.
I would say to the person experiencing relationship anxiety, remember that you go with you. And so if you just leave every relationship where you experience anxiety, guess what? You're going to experience it every time, sooner or later. So like, if you're in a relationship right now and you're experiencing horrible anxiety and it's not an unhealthy or abusive relationship and you don't know what's going on and you break up with them because of it and you find somebody new and it's super fun, guess what? Clock's ticking. It's going to happen again, because not the problem, but like the thing bringing up that anxiety is in you. And that's not to make the person feel shame or anything like that. It's actually just to make you feel aware, because you don't know what you don't know. And it's something that you're going to have to face whether you're in this relationship or not. And so if you're in a healthy relationship that is like, as far as you know, not abusive and is actually really healthy, but you don't know what's going on, problem's probably something that you're going to have to face. And so I would say do it. It's worth it. Whether you stay in this relationship or not. So I would say you go with you. And do the coaching, go find the link in their bio, go definitely. Like I would actually say, like, especially if you don't have divinely appointed spiritual marriage mentors like we found.
Yeah, we were very blessed.
Definitely sign up for the coaching, because that's the beauty of technology. You get to connect with a bunch of people and find healing and connect in that way. Virtually. So definitely consider that, or do both, even if you have a divinely appointed marriage mentor couple.
Is what we did.
Because we did both, and it was
great. Amazing.
And
like, obviously we still got our stuff going on, but I think that's the beauty in like going through everything that we went through, is like, you're always going to have something happening or going on, and there's always going to be stuff that comes up. But I think because of what we've learned going through that, and now obviously that we have now vowed to each other in marriage, like, I think it honestly makes those, like, we even had a moment yesterday. I think, like, know that those hard times, like, I don't know if I'd even say get easier, but you learn to navigate them more.
You get braver. Like, you start to grow stronger. And so, like, the hard things are not going to stop coming up in any relationship that you're in. But, like, if it's healthy, you're going to be shaped into a person who faces them, like, unshakenly. I don't know if that's a word, but like, you stop panicking and like hiding into a ball. Like, you start to actually face it every single time.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
That's so good. And I think this story is going to be super, super impactful for those who hear it, because this is like, and you're saying a lot of things I know people who are completely resonating with it are nodding their heads. And so we just want to, again, thank y'all so much for being on our podcast and being able to share your guys' story. Like, I loved hearing it too, because I don't think there were a lot of things that we obviously didn't know about that. And so hearing like your process was just like, I love that. Cause I up until you guys reached out, I think you reached out, Aliah. You asked a question on our perch, which is so funny. We don't do that anymore. But you asked a question on our perch.
I think they
I
did.
remember being like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that anything was whatever. And then like, I think like 2 months later, you're like, hey, can we do coaching? I was, oh, okay, whatever. I just like, because up until that point, obviously I had no idea anything was happening. And so to see it, maybe like just witnessing it and seeing on Instagram, and then like actually hearing like where you guys were at, and then being able to be part of that in any way to like where you guys are at now. It's so beautiful. Just to hear from the people, like it's very possible to be on the other end of this and be able to be happy and be married and move past this. This is the result. This is a testimonial. Take a picture of that.
Amen.
But yeah, we thank y'all so much. We'll put the links below, the things that we mentioned, obviously, all that. And we'll put a link to the recipe that Pedro's talking about his home remedy. I don't know what it was, but
the tea recipe or something.
Yeah, I'll find it. Yeah.
But if you guys like this episode, don't forget to all the things, share, review, subscribe, all the stuff. Give it to somebody who needs to hear it, and we will talk to you all in 2 weeks. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.